drive your body further, 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 further. Drive your body further, 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 further. Drive your body further.
And we're looking back at Tani Ruckle, who is the leading lady at this stage, some fair distance behind the leading runners who are right up with us at the moment. But Tani doing it well. There you see, 24 years old from New South Wales. And
coming up to the 10-kilometre point here, and I think we'll find that it's going to be somewhere around 32 minutes. But I hope they can fix that, because the runners would be unaware of the correct time, Pete.
Well, that is the correct time on screen now, give or take 1 or 2 seconds, 31.50. And we see the leading lady still, Tani Ruckle, at the head of affairs there. I don't know where Margaret Redden is, whether she is in touch or not, but Tani has been the leading lady as we come back to the men at the head of the field. And we have Richard Umberg in front, number 4. Petro Hiti is the man from Tanzania. On the left of screen, number 3 is Jerzy Skaczynski, and behind him, number 2 is Umbe Sla. Now, we can't be too far away from the 10-kilometre point, I wouldn't think, Trev.
No, well, we've actually passed the 10-kilometre point. They went through in 32.04, which is still pretty much the same pace as the first 5K, so we're looking at somewhere around 2:15, 2:16. I think that you'll find that this pace will be maintained, or even they may go a bit quicker, because along here they're really into the wind, Peter. When they swing around along the beach just past Mentone, there's a little bit more protection, and while we've got a group of 4 there, we're going to see some quite aggressive running. In fact, we've seen some from this man who's leading at this stage. He's been backwards and forwards quite a bit, and right at this stage he's pushing right up to our truck.
Yeah, I think he's about to overtake us, yes, if we're not careful. We look at the scene that we left some 5 or 10 minutes ago back there, with many of the runners getting a well-deserved drink back at the drink station there. As Trevor said, drinking's so important when you're running a marathon, not only for these runners up the head of the field, but for the ones we're watching now, those back in the pack. And marathons have grown so much in stature over the years. It's quite incredible when you look at some of the figures about the marathons and the way that they have progressed. For instance, when you go back to New York some time ago, in the 1972 inaugural New York Marathon, there were 284 entrants. By the time 1981 rolled around, 9 years later, with restricted entries, there were 14,496. And in 1984, the entry limit of 17,200 was... Well, there's the situation back at Beaumaris, where Terry Clifton and Rhonda Malliner were watching the runners before. And back at the head of the field, Skaczynski has once again taken over the running, and this pair have been chopping and changing. And there you see Jerzy Skaczynski just in front of Richard Umberg, with Umbe Sla in 3rd placing, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of Petro Hiti for some time now, and he was quickly dropped off the bunch, Trev.
That's right. Oh, he's way out of contention. Certainly seems to be coming down to these 3. A little bit about Skaczynski, who's up there in front. He's a professional, I understand, his running. He was actually selected in the Polish team to run in LA. Unfortunately, was unable to run when Poland boycotted the Olympics, but he competed in the alternative games and ran 4th in the marathon. Those alternative games ran 2 hours 13 and 23 seconds. So he's a very, very accomplished runner, and in fact this year this is his 4th marathon this year, and he ran 3rd in the Polish Championship this year in 2:11.42, and we did think that he might be the man to give the record a shake today. Obviously that's not going to happen, but when it comes down to the business end of the race, I'm certain Skaczynski will be right there with that international experience he's got.
Now this pain barrier is something that we hear a lot about in marathon running. Would these fellows that we're looking at the moment in front of our vehicle have reached that yet? As we see on screen now, Petro Hiti.
I think he's hit it. That wall they talk about, Peter, really is probably more like Fitzroy Street when you get down around 23, 24 miles. And I understand at one stage the sponsors' big budget were going to put up that imaginary wall, but whether or not they'll see that in Fitzroy Street to spur the runners on, I don't know. But whilst it's an imaginary wall, it's well and truly there, and I know how it feels.
Well, here's the scene up at the head of the field. 1 hour 43.5 minutes gone, and Jerzy Skoczynski from Poland is the leader. Umbe Sla in second placing, and they have dropped off Richard Umberg some fair distance behind them. In fact, now the gap has opened up to probably 80 metres.
Now is Richard Umberg. Now at one stage he'd dropped back to 50 metres behind the other runners.
Yes, so it's he's getting right back into the race, and this could be very, very interesting because there's going to be a big psychological impact on both these runners when Umberg catches up. They probably thought that they'd lost him.
Well, he's drawn it down to about 10 metres behind them now, and they've about 21 minutes of running to go to the completion of this race as we go to Terry Clifton.
Right, Bill, well, down here at Black Rock, we just have the stragglers coming through now. We've seen a couple of familiar faces. The Channel 7 program manager, Gary Fenton, went past before. As a marathon runner, he makes a very good program manager. But he was well clear of Brian Dixon, the former sports minister and Melbourne footballer. He was back amongst the stragglers this year, Brian. Rhonda Melander, well, there's the change in the lead. Richard Umberg has gone to the front, an extraordinary comeback. Yes,
he obviously had a bad patch there and obviously come through now. Looks very strong, so I bet you the other two were surprised.
Right, well, still about, I guess, 20 minutes to go. He's virtually sprinting, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it looks like he's picked up the pace a bit, perhaps to break their rhythm a little bit and also to upset them a little bit too. They'd be a bit surprised to see him actually going past them.
Right, because the gap between him and the other two seemed to be a bit too much, and now they've picked up the pace once again to just tack onto the back of him. But quite extraordinary. We rarely see that at the finish of a marathon, someone making up so much ground, you know, in the latter, probably 10th of the race.
Yes.
Then Richard Umberg, the man who will go on and win the Melbourne Marathon. He's about to overtake us and go up to the finish, and it's only within a couple of hundred metres now, so what a marvellous performance this has been. 36-year-old Richard Umberg is going to take out the Budget Big M Marathon for 1986. He's within distance of the finish now. We're swapping over to the outside lane, and here he comes along now. What a fine performance, and this big crowd of many thousands of people joining and standing to salute a truly great athletic performance as the clock ticks over towards the 2:17 mark. And finally the smile is breaking over his face as the finishing line is only now about 100 metres away, and the finish is coming up. Marathon victory number 6 from Switzerland. 36-year-old Richard Umberg is the winner of the 1986 Budget Melbourne Marathon, and he crosses the line, arms raised. What a great performance it was. He'll be followed in by Umbe Sla. Indeed, a fine performance in his own right. Jerzy Skoczynski, at last viewing from us, was in 3rd place. So that is the situation as the runners cross the line. And a very happy Richard Umberg being besieged by the media.
There's Tanya.
Tanya's coming up to 2:36, so it's going to be touch and go. Whatever she runs, it's going to be a magnificent personal best of around 10 minutes, and it's a really exciting performance from Australia's point of view if she gets citizenships.
Yes.
Let's hope that there are no complications from that side of things. She's been in Australia for the last couple of years, or at least that.
There she is, and she's just about there. She's going to, can she sprint and make this?
I think she can.
Got 8 seconds to break the 2:36.
She's going to beat Melander's time quite comfortably.
Yes.
And I think that's it.
2:36.4.
2:36.04, which is a tremendous run. and that makes her one of Australia's fastest females ever. She undoubtedly has run herself into top-class marathoning from now on.
Well, she's clipped 12 minutes 32 seconds off her previous best
It's a
time.
sensational person. Well, De Castella started this a few years back. He put his splits just on his wrist, actually, and in such small riding he couldn't read it during the race anyway. But we always said that De couldn't add up, but perhaps he set a bit of a trend.
Well, they actually, it was invented by the Irish marathon runners. They used to write the times they should run on their arms, and of course they did it in invisible ink so their competitors wouldn't know. Well, they're still streaming down. Over 4,000 people in this budget marathon today. They've had a great day for it. It has warmed up and made it a little uncomfortable, probably the last 3/4 of an hour.
Yes, well, it's all very well for the top runners because they get through by a little bit after 10 and the sun's not that high in the sky. But as the sun gets up and those shadows are very strong, the people who are running 3 and 4 hours have a lot more difficulty than the people who have run 2 hours 30 because the 2 hours 30 runners are highly trained, they get the best of the conditions. So it's I always worry about the people who are back in the field at this stage with the sun out, and you know, I just hope that they are well trained, and the evidence is that over the last 3 or 4 years people are far better prepared for the Big M. They don't enter it unless they think they can do it reasonably comfortably, and that of course is what we'd like and what the organisers would like. They want well prepared entrants at whatever level.
Right, in the Union Jack or the flag there was R.F. O'Brien of Vermont South, who has got to the line.